How many of you have ever been to this fine establishment before? Very fine, that's good, that's good. We love that. So many people told me to be here, and so we are happy to do it, damn it. We're going to do some folk songs from the American imagination and some from my direct imagination. If you have any requests, please write them on the back of a $100 bill and slide them into my back pocket when I'm not looking, and we'll get back to you by Christmas. Friends, my name is Willi Carlisle. Let's get this on the road. If you know any of the words, you're more than welcome to sing along at any time. However, do abide by the rule that you're not going to ruin anybody else's night. Otherwise, it's a good opportunity to be the church lady of your nightmares in general. To begin with, we're going to do a traveling song on these two cowbones and this American 10-hole Tudor. This is what the rocks don't know. After 29 years, I can say I never thought it'd turn out this way. Stumble and a stutter and a cry. Ain't gonna figure out a reason why. Song hurts my throat, the banjo cuts my side. Hear the road crying out through the railroad ties. Road crying out through the railroad ties. They're singing, well, love, your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I go when the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Well, all my friends in Arkansas, alone in Maine, 6 to 1, half dozen's the same. Black bass sailing across the Great Divide, call it Mississippi Deep, Rappahannock Wide. Angels' wings on a Walmart sign. Angels' wings on a Walmart sign. Gonna tell them, well, love, your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I go when the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Well, Kansas City, Rib Shack, baby, you're mine. Give me the pig, the cow, and the swine. My weights, my love, my shimmy, my shine. Damn, I found Jesus in a barbecue line. Damn, I found Jesus in a barbecue line. Gonna tell him, well, love, your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I go when the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Well, I'd like to see the world in living color. One color's just the absence of another. To get the whole spectrum of horror and elation. Call good time numbers at a Conoco station. Good time numbers at a Conoco station. Gonna tell them, well, love, your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I go when the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Give it to us. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. He's calling me up. He's short, I might love him. I'll only answer when I'm drunk to the lead. We talk about Memphis, living so rough, and the strength in his voice makes me weak at the knees. Not sure what I saw before I looked in his eyes. We ain't star-crossed just 'cause stars might align. Ain't proper high lonesome, though it's almost too sad to be true. What happened in Memphis made too much sense. There's a part of my life she don't know exists. Why is living a lie more easy than life on the fence? Why is living a lie more easy than life on the fence? Public, and it's perfectly lovely. I tried to fit in, I just can't in your town. I trying to become nobody. I tried to be hip, but it's tearing me down. No tide without tempest. Skip dinner, skip breakfast. Drove halfway to Texas, thinking on you. I'm bound and determined I could unlearn this. She'd make me shiny and new. What happened in this made too much sense. There's a part of my life she don't know exists. Was living a life more easy than life on the fence? Was living a life more easy than life on the fence? He's calling me up. He's sure I might love him. Why is living a life more easy than life on the fence? So that's one of those pansexual country ballads you hear on the radio so often. It's really a Morgan Wallen cover. He just doesn't know it yet. He'll figure it out someday, I hope. There's hope for me, there's hope for him. I have that peculiar condition of being able to love anybody that gets in the way all the time, you know? Just look out in the crowd full of people and be like, yeah, all of you. Everything that moves. Everybody's in danger. I'm working on my boundaries, though. Well, I wear a belt and suspenders every night. Trying to create boundaries between my pants and the floor. My therapist says that's not real boundaries, but what does she know? So, because I can love just about anybody, I want to think it's a superpower and not a liability, but it keeps getting me into trouble. I get into weird situations. I can love anybody, but there's a few people that I still hate. Hate just kind of chases you wherever you go. You know, you beat it for an afternoon, but then it comes back the next morning. And the only subsection of the American population I can say I hate all the time is sleight of hand magicians. I hate magic, because if you're a banjo playing folk singer and there's a sleight of hand magician in the room, you're competing over the same $20. There's only that one $20 to go around. Anyway, I hate magicians so much I wrote this song about them. It's called Tulsa's Last Magician. Magician got his start at 4. He pulled a quarter from his own ear and spun it on the floor. Said there's no good tricks but old ones, and lying ain't that hard. So he saved up all his quarters and he bought a deck of cards. And he learned ragtime piano, though his teacher thought him slow. He got a black belt in karate from a pawn shop video. And he practiced all his worst mistakes in a dirty bathroom mirror. And when his parents drank, he learned to disappear. And his classmates thought him funny, couldn't sleight of hand, but he had this grand finale they just couldn't understand. Oh, it's hard to tell the whole truth of a family sawed in half. And that's why Tulsa's last magician left his home so fast. He went broke in Santa Fe, turning tricks on Los Sueñeros out in California. Well, they pushed him up against the wall, said, buddy, get a grip. So he learned to set himself on fire over Las Vegas. And he wandered down to Tampa, blew everybody's minds, 'cause The crowd was cheap and easy there on beer and blowing wine. They said, I wonder where my dollar went, how'd the flower bloom so fast? They said, I can't reveal my secrets, they rarely fail at my house. He had a crowd all thought him funny, good sleight of hand, but he had this grand finale they refused to understand. They demanded explanation when the card pulled was their own. And that's why Tulsa's last magician lost his faith and headed home. He said he learned computers like his second foster dad, and free-range all the rabbits that were living in his hat. His investments all went swimmingly, had the cash on hidden strings. His promotions were a certainty, he could make the numbers sing. Now time and space is easy for magic to control. Still, it was 40 years of working before he noticed he was old. Now his great escape and act is just untying both his shoes. And most days he's in his easy chair yelling at the news. And the weatherman is funny, talking with his hands, but black clouds are coming in and no one understands how somebody's true religion is always someone else's joke. And that's why Tulsa's last magician kinda just went up in smoke. So friend, if you're the kind who thinks no one quite gets quite who you are, like you're a cobbler or a mechanic in this age of flying cars, if you think you see right behind what's right before our eyes, you might be a small town's last magician in disguise. And we need you to be funny, to be good at sleight of hand, cause there's a grand finale we can't hope to understand. There's a 1 in 52 chance, it's real magic and it's true. Won't you please help us believe? Won't you please help us believe in you? Thank you, dude. I tried to move out onto an intentional community in very rural Arkansas at the very beginning of the pandemic. One of the biggest mistakes, I think, of my whole life. It turned out I was a lot better at swinging a banjo than I was at swinging a hammer. And at swinging ideas more than swinging a hammer, too. This intentional community was called Meadow Creek, but I colloquially called it Critterland in my mind, because it was more the property of the critters than it was the actual human beings that lived out there. You know, the raccoons have their part of the house and you have yours. Well, so out there I would always ask questions that in retrospect were dumb. Like, what's the deal? Are you guys like anarchists or libertarians, or what kind of place is this? Are you so far to the right you came out on the left, or so far to the left you came out on the right? You know these kind of people. I love it very much. But every time I asked a question like that, they would say something like, why don't you shut up, college, and do your share of the work? Right? And it turns out, of course, that solidarity doesn't have an ideology. It involves rolling up your sleeves and doing unpleasant things for people that don't even like you. Right? It's a shame that they're doing hard work like that. And this is a place totally abandoned by any kind of social and civic service. Like, congratulations, you want a road? You got to build the road. Congratulations, if you want to be president, you can be president out there, of your own little world. As long as you, are a just one. Anyhow, we played a game out there that inspired this next song that was called Critter Critter. If you were sitting in the back of your truck doing beers, driving around, you could see a critter crossing the road, point at it, and say, "Critter, critter." And if you're the first person to do that, you could assign somebody else in the back of the truck to take off an article of clothing and chug their beer. So if you need a game to play downtown Atlanta later, this is for that. 1, 2, 1, 2. I was too hot-headed and I never had the money. I kinda got arrested. My sweet old folks thought I'd make a pretty decent one of those. I still live the kind of life that people judge on the clothes. Now it's 40 miles back road on all green tires. That little blue window sitting open all the while, singing songs to a God I have met but do not know, making wagers on the critters who sit across on the road. Yeah, the sparrow on the wagon taught me to find, and the possum knows I know mine more than I do. I'm here for all the love that I can't stand. Take me to Critterland. In the decade of our loving, we've grown and not so young. I've come to know these seasons by the lashing of your tongue. But the propane gently sputters, there's spring water in our tap. Why can't we feel the peace of the sweet dog on our black horse? Oh, the granny witch and herbalist got remedies for us. It's a tincture and a prayer poured down the hollow of our guts. On the homestead in the pine beds, we've grown our holy power. Oh, laying bare like critters there by love and power. Got a sparrow on the way taught me to sing through. And the possum keeps your young closer than I do. You know I'm here for all the grief that I can't stand. Take me to Critterland. Oh, I never thought I could love like this. You might call me queer or a communist. I'll go along to get along, darling. It feels so right. Cause why have a God? No one is saved. I think love is a burden that ain't brave. I'll live and die forever there, or right there in that divide. It's hard to say what I have learned from all these hills and dunes. We're dying and we're singing, I love you and we've sinned. And when marauders come, cause the apocalypse is nigh, want my rifle on my shoulder, my true love by my side. I wanna be the kind of man who could stand his ground and die. Take my fiddle, take my good hat, I'll go out in style. Gonna do it for my family, not for glory, not for God. In a war that's raging between the haves and the have-nots. And the sparrow on the wing taught me to fly through. And the possum keeps your teeth sharper than I do. You should bury me where I make my last stand, at the battle of Critterland. At the battle of another one on that record. Lost my grandmother last year, one of the loves of my life, and I wrote this one for her. Her name was Dolores, which is Latin for pain. I don't know if you know that. That's how you knew she grew up in the Great Depression. This is not only for my little Great Depressions in the morning, but also for that historical Great Depression where a bunch of folks had to stand up to a bunch of powers that were, try to build better lives for the people that came after them. Through every depression and recession, I hope we get a chance to do that. 2. as a boy, from great-granddad's covered wagon, from Clarksville, Illinois, for the promise of daffodils amongst the hard limestone. They carved the die of fortune out of buffalo bone. They all wandered o'er the salty seas, the prairies wide and more, just to make a foolish man like me that's darkened in your door. If the Great Depression made us, there's no need to despair. I won't waste a single moment of the work that brought me here. That were never taught to read, to the barefoot hungry soldiers that enlisted at 16. Oh, in my dumb debasement I still get great relief that on the lamb and on the dole they counted themselves free. I have hustled towards the overpass to sleep there in the rain. I have settled with my pocket knife to carve out all their names. If the Great Depression made us, there's no need to despair. I won't waste a single moment of the work that brought me here. Jailhouse on the border, to the hold beneath the ship, to the weed fields out in Oregon, to the first night that we kissed, from the darkness of the coal mine to the brightest factory floor, to when our can a better life is still worth dying for. And I still cry my eyes at every time I dare to touch the spirit. And if this is my small lot in life, I'm gonna love it like I mean it. If the Great Depression made us, there's no need to despair. I won't waste a single moment of the work that brought me here. Oh, the blood is strong with victory that brought us our despair. I won't waste a single moment of the love that brought me here. Blood is strong with victory that brought us our despair. I won't waste a single moment of the love that brought me here. What I mean by that is not just like conventional love. I mean that great big procreant urge that populates and decimates whole continents, you know. I mean that the ways of people that dug stones from the earth with their bare hands aren't wasted on us here just because we can look into a little box of light. We're still made out of that same big labor that did all this stuff, that conquered continents and had continents conquered from underneath them, that crossed oceans. That's why I like to play folk music, because I want to feel in contact with that great big energy, that huge amount of work, that massive amount of inequity that continues today as we put our foots upon the throats of the second and third world, noticing that nothing has changed and that we still have a lot of work to do just because things got a little better. And well, anyways, is that political or in a tangent? I'm sorry, folk music isn't supposed to do that. I get ennui every now and again. Are you familiar with this term, ennui? When I get ennui, I'm pissed off. I was told it means to be pissed off about something and not know exactly why. I got ennui the last time I was in Australia. I had all this new continent energy, right? I was stepping off the plane. I was opening for Tyler Childers. It was going to be like, whoa. It was going to be pretty amazing. And then I stepped off the plane, and there in front of me was a Taco Bell. Wherever you go, your problems follow you, right? So I've had ennui. And I asked somebody for the solution. They told me it was Gestalt. And I was like, what does that mean? And apparently Gestalt means, I don't know what I'm talking about, so you have to tell me. But that's what a song has in it, is Gestalt, right? Is I don't know what these songs are about. You need to figure them out for yourself and tell me so that I can know, right? So I got ennui. I need Gestalt about it. And if that ain't je ne sais quoi, I don't know what it is. It's almost like we're here for a different reason. Almost as if we've been called by a god dang higher lonesome. I've been turned around in Tidewater, all alone in Pueblo, been driving with a death wish down the mountains on my phone. Half the places I've been might be laced with psilocybin. Been dreaming of a country I saw at the rodeo. Packed a ball of meatball jangles, cause Tennessee's so cold. Charlottesville by sundown's a nightmare to behold. There's an old-time dame with a twisty name, I couldn't read it if she wrote it. Got a black powder revolver, wants to see if it's still loaded. I've been called by a higher lonesome, the low as low can be. You can write it on my tombstone, now all life looks really wholesome. When you pay the price in foolishness it takes to get you free. Higher lonesome, kill the bitter words of me. Codependence, law, and Al-Anon, they all know how I felt for you. Felt it in my guts before 2 steps in Philadelphia. With every coin the joiners get, they're farther from the pain of it. All the hurting that we did, it's a shame no coin will pay for it. Think I fell in love again on the walk in City Park. Yoderowski on the tiny string and zigzags in the dark. And I figured I should let it go or give it a couple days. Ton of wrecks in Minneapolis, she don't know my last day. I've been called by a higher lonesome, and low as low can be. You can write it on my tombstone, now my life looks pretty wholesome. When you pay the price in foolishness it takes to get you free. Higher lonesome, kill the bitter words. I saw the darkness coming at me in a Jeff City motel. There was writing on the mirror, said you messed up, so go to hell. The cornmeal spills were on me still, and her letter just half read. By the time the sun was up, I just got breakfast instead. I wish I could call the old folks that aren't with us anymore. I feel granny dancing recklessly at the Floyd Country Store. And the artist has his suffering, and the gods will have their pain. By the time the ride is over, I know I'll ask to ride again. See the snow fall in Wyoming, strung out on John's coke. Keep a mailbox in Nebraska, so I know that Lord knows she can write a letter once a year and say that we're still close. I can put my sins on Benjamin and hear the songs he wrote. I don't want to hit rock bottom, just see how deep it goes. Shine a light on 6 feet under, so I ain't afraid to go. Proving fact it is as lovely as can be. Higher lonesome kills the bitter parts of me. I've been called by a higher lonesome, higher lonesome, kill the bitter parts of me. Oh, higher lonesome, kill the bitter parts of me. We've had a couple days off, so that means it's time for me to cry during all the songs again. I'm not good at emotional regulation without singing about it, so I'm gonna have some feelings. You're welcome to have feelings with me. I started going back to church when I moved out to that intentional community. It was kind of where the dating scene was. You know what I mean? Some of you are from small non-towns, right? Small communities. There was this beautiful church on the banks of the White River in rural Arkansas. It had the graves of people that had been born in England and died in rural Arkansas. I can only imagine that journey. And then it had the unmarked graves of the slaves that had probably built the church. It's nice when you get presented with something that direct, you know what I mean? Nowadays, something comes in from Timu, and I don't imagine the labor that it created. You know? Anyways, that has nothing to do with the next song. Just something I like to think about. In that church, my frontal cortex had closed, so I was capable of arguing with the old folks, not just defying them. So I really loved the Baptist hymns we would sing from this little Heavenly Highways hymnal. And I always wanted to write a hymn of my own from it. So this is a hymn for those old folks kind of making an argument I always wanted to make at them. They would ask me, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? But this is a hymn called I Want No Children. And it's about not wanting any children. Maybe the government and baby Jesus can stay out of it.
Get up, Jan, shimmy up the holler, down and back for a silver dollar. Yeah, it's a pretty big haul, a pretty small pay, down from upriver in the snow and the rain. Working for a living is a pretty raw deal, and Jesus on the main line is hell on wheels. Oh, all that jack. Till my money comes back down, running down and down and back. Be right here till my money comes back. West Virginia is a wishing hole. Big mama sitting on the pickles in the pan. You can't get to heaven in a big black pants. Whoa, all that jack. Till my money comes back down, running down and down and back. Be right here till my money comes back. I'm gonna vanish in the woods without a dim trace. I'll never forget. What's his face? Small town gospel is the rat. God say fish cut bait. Spare me the rod. Whoa, all that jack. Till my money comes back down, running down and down and back. Be right here till my money comes back. I wanna be said. Dr. Paul tried. The designated hitter is a goddamn lie. All about doing between done and these kids. Be a crazy old man and a mess like a kid. Whoa, all that jack. Till my money comes back down, running down and down and back. Be right here till my money comes back. Whoa, up all that jack. Till my money comes back down, running down and down and back.
All right, friends, this is as good a time as any to introduce the band. To my left, to your right, weighing in at 98,000 pounds of pure, unadulterated energy, a master of both the fiddle and the foot, who says in a band that is mostly almost 300 pounds, I do not care to overeat, and thus helps the rest of us out. My good friend, Miss Sophie Mae Williamson. And in the blue corner, weighing in only where it counts, one of the finest guitar rippers in the entire known universe, and parts unknown, a master of absconsions so difficult and complex you don't even know what the word means, but you know what I mean. Somebody who I've seen make a 12-pack of Miller Lite tremble from all the way across the room. My dear friend on the acoustical and electrified get fiddle, Mr. Grady Pete Drugs. I'm going to do this one called Jaybird. And before I do this one, I'd like to do a little public service announcement. I think all folk music should be a public service announcement, that if it's not, it's just a dress-up show. And as much as I love a good drag show, I don't think I can pull off the look that often. I can't afford that kind of makeup. So if you're struggling and you have a bud who's struggling with the suicidal icky ideation, you can call the number 988. It's a government service that has not been defunded. So if somebody that you know is struggling, or you're struggling yourself, you can be on the phone within 5 minutes with somebody named Gary, whose voice is so quiet that you rethink what you're doing. It's so sweet and so kind, and I wouldn't know from experience. You would have to call to find out yourself. So let's say 988 together. 988. There's your compulsory public service announcement. This is called Jaybird.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But you never got better. The cops got confused by your suicide letter. Not outwards but inwards, used too many big words. No surprise your body never was found. I swear I'll find your body all over this town. Oh hey Jaybird, where you finally found home. You're a long time running now, you're a long time gone. Hey Jaybird, I'm doing just fine. My head is Eric and my chest's on fire. My head is Eric and my chest's on fire. Yeah, I swear I saw your spirit flying up above me, still thinking how you disappointed everybody. The red rage of doomsday came to your lips. You never had the guts to be a protagonist. No Dungeons and Dragons protagonist. Oh, hey, Jaybird, where you finally found home. You're a long time running now, you're a long time gone. Hey, Jaybird, I'm doing just fine. My head is Eric and my chest's on fire. My head is Eric and my chest's on fire. So won't you Okay, that leads us to our song about Atlanta housing prices. Constructed just for you. I understand there's never been a better time to buy. Fellow millennials, there's never been a better recession throughout our entire lives to make a purchase during. No, this is actually about living inside of a van. I started living inside of my van when I was I was a teacher at the Northwest Arkansas Community College, teaching Texans to hate the alien, like you do. Folk singer stuff, you know what I mean? Sitting on a hay bale on weekends playing banjo for people. And then I got arrested and lost that job and decided to become a folk singer full time. But suffice to say, I did not find it a fashionable form of homelessness, even though it was an Instagrammable phenomenon even at the time a decade ago. And it seems like it's just going to be more and more of an Instagrammable phenomenon. Funny how late capitalism folds all forms into itself and is like, oh, hey, how about a $90,000 Sprinter van? You're like, I can't afford a motel tonight. So this is for anybody who's experiencing that kind of fashionable homelessness or housing insecurity. It's called The Van Life. It features Mr. Grady P. Drug very prominently on the electrical get fiddle. Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Making minimum wage, look fairly well twice, act half my age. I'm looking for somewhere that can handle the rage of a young man on the run. With rarely paid taxes and awful insurance, and a glove box full of summons and warrants, and a finely tuned wish things were that weren't, you could say I was looking for fun. So I bought an old one red Dodge Ram, I bought 2 pints of whiskey and a 30 of hams. Now I'm peeing in bottles, eating from cans. But you can't call me homeless, friends, cause I live in a van. They call it van life. I've been told this, it's a fine life. I've been told this, it's a fine line between having to and choosing it. Let's roll it up, let's roll this. Well, the 7-Eleven is a sure bellyache. I subsist on this mere wake and bake. Talladega to Chicago's lake, I'll be your golden country crew. All the girls from Chickamauga to Passamaquoddy speak enviously of my van's rusty body, and this sumbitch might just be a Bugatti the way I get it from 60 to 0. Now I'm 60 miles apart on a northern track. I'm burning the rubber, no looking back. Pushing that thing like a maniac, I get tipped out like a stripper. No judgment in singles and crack. Oh, I wish somebody would fund them track. Instead it's the van life. I've been told this, it's a fine life. I've been so close. It's a fine line between having to and choosing it. Let's roll it up. Let's roll this. Show 'em how great. Seattle's big cities. All in all, life's pretty from my Starship Enterprise. Still a guy with a house and a big old lawn thinks his block's too good for me to park on. Bangs on my door with a letter that tells about 1,000 ways he can make my life hell. And he's worse than the guy who put a brick through my glass and robbed me blind and siphoned my gas. At least to know that asshole needed it bad. I wish that old boy well. In the meantime, a cop is banging on my door, telling me I can't park here no more. What do you do, friends? What do you say? You gotta rev up the engine and drive away. You chalk it up to the van life. I've been told this, it's a fine life. I've been told this, it's a fine line between having to and choosing it. Let's roll it up, let's roll this. Bring it up, guys, so we made. You got practical highways, friends like smoke, it all goes up. You end up alone, it's like the internet is your real home. Call of the world, the call of the road. store drifter with Western suits. I'm ringing out 3 chords and the truth like a wash rag on the bar. Every time I'm feeling down on my luck, think I might trade it in for a couple of bucks. And here's some guy like Elon Musk talking about how we're all gonna get Cybertrucks. I think God, life must be easy when you're one of these dang billionaires. How is this song still so relevant? I'm pretty sure that I prefer the man life. I've been told this, it's a fine life. I've been sold this. It's a fine line between having to and choosing it. Let's roll it up. Let's smoke her down. It's a big rig, new town, same old night, the whole world over, whole world over. Sitting sad, wondering why meritocracy's alive. Oh, let's roll it up. Let's blow this. All right, friends, we've got a little bit of a short set. We've just got an hour, but we're playing tomorrow. How many of you are coming to both shows? Any of you? If there's some of these songs that you wanted to hear that you don't get to hear, you're more than welcome to come tomorrow. We'll do all of them then. I want to do a song about terrible fathers. So if you're a terrible father, this is for you. It's also for the children that love them. My dad was not a terrible father, but he's featured in this. You know what I mean? He's like a special guest in the song. We thought he was going to die, and so I started writing songs about it. It's like, oh, I can finally get to all this material. Songwriter brain, I can't help it. It's also, you're going through a breakup, you're like, all right, I got all that story about just having a spiritual crisis. Good, thank God, it's about time. Anyway, so I had to play this song for my dad because the son of a bitch pulled through. And it was awkward, but it was good. I swear to God, it put us on a healing pathway. We're doing better than we ever have. It's because I was honest. And he said to me, and you can't make this up, I didn't know you knew your grandfather so well. It's called The Arrangements. He was dead inside my head long before he died. So making the arrangements felt natural, felt nice. No medicine for saving him from cigs and booze and salts. Feels pretty nice to say I thought his sadness was my fault. So let's pour one out for the bastard. It's still sad when assholes die. Or you can pour your drink out in the sink and go on and live your life. I hear his drunk footfalls through bedroom walls, find comfort in the sound. But I'm my own father now. I was drooling, I was foolish. The first time that you saw me, said your eyes were like a Jersey cow, your tongue so clean and country. And all those drunk disasters, did you ever feel the same? Do you think I want these feelings? Chose my face or chose my name? So don't ask about blame or forgiveness. Still sad when bad love dies. Think I'm full of shit and you're over it. Take the last word in my pride. 'Cause I'm my father's spitting image, and I spit upon the ear. So the old man is still here. And I know that I will go soon. My heart's also not so strong. It was written in the stars about 1,000 light years long. But I feel it all start to dissolve in a cemetery rain. And I know about 1,000,000 men that feel about the same. So let's pour one out for the bastards. Even bastards need their friends. You can pour your drink out in the sink. You got the last laugh in the end. All the arrangements are in order. I could buy the bar around. 'Cause I'm my own father now. So don't ask about blame or forgiveness. I ain't one for choosing sides. He was mean as shit, now we're over it. Now I'm glad that we survived. I see the earth did not crack open. No one opened up the clouds. It's alright, I'm my own father now. Oh, I'm my own father now. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm gonna call another audible, and just because we're just gonna do some different stuff tomorrow, friends. I'm gonna do a brand new one. I'm gonna kick these guys off stage for a moment, if that's all right. You don't have to applaud for them leaving. It's okay. This is what happens in the motel room every morning. Somebody gets up and goes to the bathroom. They come out. We all applaud. All 5 of us. I just announced a new record today, so I can't help but do a song off of it. It's called Winning Victory. It comes out in June. I always want to write a song about big butts. Other songwriter things you just want to write. So there's certain songs that just chase you around. And in my experience, there's only 3 things that are true in the world: birth, death, and butts. So this is for all that. It's called Big Butt Billy. I was traveling down that lonesome road. These past years the highway has been my home. Stopped in Darriston off Route 66. That's south of Winnipeg, north of Texas. With hash browns so burnt and eggs so raw, you hear an Idahoan cry and make the chickens squall. In that sticky corner booth with that particular conundrum: do I want the Salisbury steak, or do I dare that liver and onion? I ran into something I knew nothing about. I tell you, good buddy, I was knocked right out by Big Butt Billy. Big Butt Billy. Where how'd they ever get those tiny little britches on? But good God Almighty, hell Satan, I've never seen a finer they them than Big Butt Billy. Yeah, setting a fresh cup of joe in front of me was an elfin specimen of non-binary quantity, saying, "Hey, what do you want? On the top or on the side?" I said, "Oh, hey, sweetie, say, what do you like?" So fair with blue hair and that septum piercing and a bone structure that I find mighty appealing. What a calipigian angel sweet Jesus has gifted us. I'm using collegiate words to tell you that ass was ridiculous. So Big Butt Billy. Well, how'd they ever get those tiny little britches on? Well, good God Almighty, hell Satan, I've never seen a finer they them than Big Butt Billy. Yeah, they brought me a meal so heavy, so fine, I had to unhitch my wagons and sit a while and contemplate those great mysteries of life while Billy asked if I wanted pie, and I did. Now, some of you
friends might find this inappropriate, I'm here to tell you, shut up, get over it. Beauty is truth, truth is booty, be smart. You can't put nookie on a sympathy card, you gotta find it for yourself. And who's bringing me a piece of pie for my health but Big Butt Billy? I'm into what I'm into, but I left pretty quick. I even made sure that I double tipped. I didn't dare leave my name and number on a napkin, so you can't tell me I ain't a perfect gentleman. But every now and then, every so often, I wake up thinking of what might have been, and I say this for posterity, for the record, that what I left behind is the kind of posterior that troubles your mind. I'm talking about the kind of big, bold, brash, beautiful brick doo-doo house that might inspire these hairy-eyed long haulers, the kind of ocular perambulations, generative of loud and vulpine augas, as in the cartoons of yore. I'm talking about the kind of keister that might recommend direct interposition to the hand of God in the anterior matter of this young colt and or filly. For how else could such a voluminous pantaloon buster come to be on this earth? My word, who will let you out of the house carrying that thing around in front of God and everybody? I say, let it be holy, holy, holy enough to sanctify every Cisco diner coast to coast. Let it be holy, holy, holy enough to sanctify the delicate waggle of the joke, deli and jam. Let it be holy, holy, holy enough to sanctify the candy apple vinyl and the singing of the doo-wop, doo-wop. And holy, holy, holy enough to sanctify the talk of the slack-jawed old folks talking about hay prices and whether or not the lemon curd has indeed curdled. It's been in the fridge for a long time. Let it be holy, holy, holy enough to sanctify the chalice-bearing neophyte. Let it be holy, holy, holy enough that righteousness should be the only girdle of our loins. Along these addled highways wherein my primate brain endlessly seeks out attraction, affection, and dare I say, love. From Big Butt Billy. How'd you ever get those kind of little britches on? Well, good God, mighty hell, Satan, I've never seen a finer they, them. Big Butt Billy. I thought that might have been a little too intellectual for you guys. I was afraid to play that one out. I'm glad that I got the non-gender specific cojones to sing it for you. I'm going to go ahead and do cheat, if that's all right, friends. Yes. Yeah, I know that. We're going to do the one the internet likes just for everybody. I'm only teasing you. I was going to use it as a teaser for tomorrow night, but I know that some of you are only here because I only have one song that some people know. Which I'm only fucking with you because I was born a baby, and then when I was a baby, I didn't know what to do, and I grew into the young peckerwood that wrote that song, and I still really like it. I'm still learning to love that young peckerwood, but I've grown into an ornery whippersnapper now. So as an ornery whippersnapper, you look back at the young peckerwood, and you're like, what was he thinking? You know what I mean? Because I thought I was an outlaw while writing songs for my mother about how I don't want to do that many drugs. I don't think I knew I was a sensitive folk singer at the time. Oh, outlaw shit is what you make of it, right? I think that outlaw shit is acknowledging that there's better ways to do it than late capitalism's apocalyptic end run. That's what I think outlaw shit is going to be in the 21st century. That there's other alternatives. In the meantime, this is the young peckerwood song. The ornery old bastard songs are going to come out eventually. I can't wait for those. This is sort of peckerwood moon whippersnapper rising, you know. It's called cheap cocaine. I'm staring at the rain. 8 ball left of the cheap cocaine, and I'm looking at the sunlight light through the pines. Couldn't tell you what it is, it's always been mine. Now that I'm gone, I think of the man with a meth pipe clutched in his bone-thin hands. Said, hey brother, I hope you get straight. I know I won't meet him at the prayer of the gates. He sang, hey my mama, I've been staring at the rain. A little heartbreak, a little soul pain. I've been up all night on the cheap cocaine, trying to make it better when it's always the same. And their punk rock songs. Wake up in the morning, stumble towards the door and saying, how you doing, boy? It's been too long. Saying, how you doing, boy? It's been too long. You're singing, hey mama, I've been staring at the rain. A little heartbreak, a little soul pain. I've been up all night on the cheap cocaine, trying to make it better when it's always the same. Sidekicks out, I was hitting up the bars on Decatur Alley, where the men pick up women not half their age. All I had for them was my tears and my rage. I thought it was a fight. I went for my knife and the man shook my hand with his kids and his wife, and I was so ashamed I hung back and cried. Leave all that to St. Peter, wait till I die. Leave all that to St. Peter, wait till I die and sing, hey mama, I've been staring at the rain. A little heartbreak, a little soul pain. I've been up all night on the cheap cocaine, trying to make it better when it's always the same. Staring at the sky. Did I miss a verse? No good, that's nice. I'm so lonely, but I couldn't tell you. I've sung a song a lot of times. Why? Let's produce this. Pick us up when we fall, you know? All right, we've got time for 2 more songs. If you want more, tomorrow night we're the late show at the same goddamn rock and roll time, at the same rock and roll place at a different rock and roll time. Thank you so good for being here. We're going to do 2 sing-alongs to close us out. I want to thank Charlie Overman for opening. What a weird set. I love it so good. It's one of my favorite things. I brought him all the way from Kentucky to share with you because of how much I like that stuff. Friends, this is called Boy Howdy Hot Dog. A sing-along component is the same as the title component, okay? I say the phrase boy howdy and you say the phrase hot dog. Don't be afraid of it. It's a good chance to prove to your date you're willing to do anything. Let's try it. Boy howdy. Excellent. Come at it like you're mad at it, like it did something wrong to you in the 6th grade and you've never forgotten. Boy howdy. Okay, all right, I get it. Nice. Them coals are turning bright red, firewood's in the truck bed, river's running low this time of year. Ragweeds on the turnpike, bedrooms mostly Christmas lights. Sorry friend, I don't lend tools. Boy, look at life, I got a pretty little house, pretty big wife, lets me fry her pork chop twice a week. Well, hot plate, baby went to make cake, never seen heaven and did not have a snake. Well, hot plate, baby went to make cake, never seen heaven and did not have a snake. Blue Jays, mean ass bird, ugliest song you've ever heard. Get off my porch, up your ass. Everything she does is magic. I watch her catch a lizard. Careful or his tail will come right off. Boy, howdy. Pretty good life. I got a pretty little house, pretty big wife. Lets me fry her catfish twice a week. Well, Swamp Roast Mustang, get money, make it rain, cold beer, tin can, Cadillac Mustang. Well, Swamp Roast Mustang, get money, make it rain, cold beer, tin can, Cadillac Mustang. horse and a cavalry of bushwhackers. Never seen a ball number, bullets wouldn't scatter. Both thick as a horse and a cavalry of bushwhackers. Never seen a ball number, bullets wouldn't scatter. We go to hell, this bar is mostly peanut shells. If you drive, we can play pool. Hot pocket, sweet potato pie, Saturday, Sunday, rolling by. Take off your pants, let's watch TV. Boy, howdy, look at life, I got a pretty little house, pretty big life. Can't recall my ex-wife's name. But the love you lost is right where you left it, right gone forever, friends, crack a beer, forget it. Yeah, the love you lost is right where you left it, right gone forever, friends, crack a beer, forget it. The coals are turning bright red, firewood's in the truck bed, river's running low this time of year. Boy, well done, you did it. Give yourself a round of applause. Straight-looking country and folk singers is angry songs that are pissed off at love. You're out of luck with me in general. And the reason being is because I think anger is important, but I think it has to go somewhere. And I think for it to go somewhere, you have to have some sense of what might or might not be wrong. And that takes responsibility. And I would rather develop that than just sit around and be pissed off. So instead of ending on some kind of note where it's like, oh, my feelings, we're going to do one that is about bringing everybody together. It's not real solidarity, but it's not a bad place to start. We're going to do this one called Your Heart's a Big Tent. And it's based on the idea, friends, that your heart is a big tent, just like you see painted before you on the cheapest paint that money can buy, that you got to let everybody in, that it doesn't matter who they are, if they do right, or where they've been, everybody gets in. So that's what we're going to sing together. We're going to do it gospel style, friends. Which means I'm going to say it, then you're going to say it back, just as if we were in church together. This might feel religious, but it's not religious. Me and these freaks have scrupulously looked through every single lyric of this song to make sure it has no rules about pork or circumcision. Although as a band, we have decided that we are pro-pork and not to discuss the rest of it. So, it's in the key of C if you're playing banjo along at home. And I'm going to go, oh, your heart's a big tent. And then you go, oh, your heart's a big tent. That's good. You got it. You got to let everybody in. It doesn't matter who they are, if they do right and where they've been. That part's my part. You don't have to do it. But it does cue us for us all to sing the final line at the same time, which is, everybody gets in. If you don't know it, now you do. Pick it up imperfectly from your neighbor. Don't try to do it right. Trying to do it right is going to mess everything up. The only thing that will make it right is everybody messing it up together all. 1, 2, 1, 2. This morning a miracle happened as promised. The horizon of the world's closest star. And the almanacs warned us that the fast-coming weather might blow us away like dandelion flowers. Oh, if I had a nickel every time I've taken shelter from the storm alone and naked in my bedsheets, I could pay off all my loans, buy some nicer clothes, find a job that didn't always scare me. I've been trying not to think before my third cup of coffee. Oh, your heart's a big tent. Oh, your heart's a big tent. Gotta let everybody in. Doesn't matter who they are, if they do right or where they've been. Everybody gets in. Well, I think I know a secret, still not really sure. Somewhere between I'm living and I believe I can hide. Oh, whatever you do with it, the gift's a pretty simple one. Sing it till you love yourself and love until you die. And I'm coming to myself like a man finding religion. My baptized, drowned, and washed in the blood. What if life's an open field? I'd like to plant a garden and get ready for the fire. not a great one, but I'll leave that to you smarter ones. The soul is an idiot, it doesn't care why. Oh, whatever you do with it, the gift's a pretty simple one. Sing until you love yourself and love until you die. And I've seen the trees like pillars full of blood, chlorophyll laugh and swaying in their glory. Seen the sparrows in the air, the light on branches there. There's no way they're afraid of being 30. If I can't live clean, then I'd better love dirty. Oh, your heart's a big tent. Gotta let everybody in. Doesn't matter who they are, if they do right or where they've been. Everybody gets in. Friends, thank you. I'm Willi Carlisle. That's Grady Drug. That's Sophie Wellington. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Tell your friends there's still a few tickets available. We're going to do all the ones you did not hear tonight. Friends, I want to do it one more time with you. I want to do it for the idea that everybody going on planet Earth should have equal access to all the joys and sufferings that life has to offer. That American imperial interests don't have to include funding genocides. I want to do it for the idea that American imperial interests haven't been a good idea for a long time. I want to do it for the idea that democracy's not dead. It's just waiting for you to take advantage of it at a local goddamn level, which means doing stuff for people you don't like, that don't like you, but being kind anyways, because we're on the same goddamn team. Let's try it. Oh, your heart's a big tent.
Oh, your heart's a big tent.
You gotta let everybody in.
Everybody in.
Doesn't matter who they are, if they do right or where they've been.